Let's go back to the late 1800s when China lost a series of wars and ceded Hong Kong to Britain for 99 years. Hong Kong remained a British colony until 1997, when the 99-year lease expired. Britain gave Hong Kong back to China, but under a special agreement. It was called One Country, Two Systems, and it made Hong Kong part of China again. But the agreement also stated that Hong Kong would retain a high degree of autonomy, as well as democratic freedoms like the right to vote, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, and freedom of assembly. And that made citizens of Hong Kong very different from those in mainland China, who don't have those same freedoms. The Chinese legal system is often used to arrest, punish, and silence people who speak out against the state. Here's Claudia Mo, a member of the Hong Kong Legislative Council.
It was widely understood here that back in 1997, when Hong Kong was returned to China, China was excluded from Hong Kong's extradition arrangements because of confidence, right? We simply didn't and still don't have trust and confidence in the Chinese legal and judicial systems.
According to the agreement, one country, two systems wouldn't last forever, and in 2047, Hong Kong is expected to once again become part of China. But the Chinese government doesn't want to wait another 28 years. They're ready to start erasing the border now, making Hong Kong a formal part of China much sooner. And one of the ways they're doing this is by building this massive bridge connecting Macau and mainland China to Hong Kong.
The bridge is really just a massive political symbol. We don't really need that. But then the thing is, Hong Kong is very different from the rest of China because we were a British colony for more than a century, right? And I'm sure Beijing's rather fed up with this status. They have been trying very hard to disappear Hong Kong.
Every year, the residents of Hong Kong hold a vigil to commemorate the people killed in Tiananmen Square. This is something that's not allowed in mainland China. But this vigil has become more and more important to Hong Kong residents because they feel a new level of influence from China. Under the rule of Chinese leader Xi Jinping, pro-democracy leaders have already been arrested in Hong Kong. And mysterious abductions of anti-Beijing booksellers have created a threat to the free speech agreed to in the handover. In 2003, 500,000 Hong Kongers successfully fought legislation that would have punished speaking out against China. And in 2014, tens of thousands of protesters shut down the city for weeks to protest China's influence over Hong Kong's elections. Now, Hong Kong residents are fighting an extradition bill. It's widely seen as the next step in China's erasing of Hong Kong's autonomy.
We urge Beijing to have a rethink over Hong Kong, that this one country, two system promise, it has been very much eroded, and many of our young people seem to think that one country, two systems has become one country and 1.1 systems only, and it's just not right. It's been 22 years and Hong Kong is not living up to this the promise of enjoying a high degree of autonomy.
So what brought about this bill? In 2018, a young couple went from their home in Hong Kong to Taiwan on holiday. But only one of them returned to Hong Kong where the man confessed to murdering his girlfriend. Hong Kong authorities couldn't charge him for murder because he did it in Taiwan. And they couldn't send him back to Taiwan to be charged because they don't have an extradition agreement. So this year, Hong Kong's government proposed one. It would let them send suspects to Taiwan to face trial, but the same bill would also allow extradition to mainland China, where there's no fair trial and no humane punishment. If Hong Kong's legislature was to vote on the bill, it would pass. And that's because Hong Kong's democracy is very unique. Hong Kong's legislature is called the Legislative Council, or LegCo, and it has 70 seats. Within this system, Hong Kong has many political parties, but most are either pro-democracy or pro-Beijing. In every election since the handover, Hong Kong's pro-democracy parties have won the popular vote, but they've never held a majority in the LegCo. This is because when Hong Kongers vote, they're only voting for less than 2/3 of the seats. 30 are chosen by the business communities of Hong Kong and include representatives from the finance, medical, insurance industries, and so on. Many of these 30 seats are voted on by corporations, and because they have an incentive to be friendly with China, Those seats are dominated by pro-Beijing candidates. Despite Hong Kong's Beijing-appointed leader, Carrie Lam, saying that the bill is effectively dead, people have been protesting since March because they're worried that the bill will come back and pass under the current arrangement of the LegCo.
Then, by the time she said that the bill is dead, she's completely lost any trust or confidence among the people on her government. And the fact that she refuses to use the word withdrawal because it would be too much a climb down on her part. She couldn't be seen, according to Chinese politics and things, she couldn't be seen as bowing to the people.
And that brings us to where we are today. The bill is still in limbo, and pro-Beijing gangsters have been intimidating and attacking protesters, like here in a metro station. There have been allegations these gangsters are being instructed by Beijing, and that police are being complicit. The police refused to attend emergency calls to the metro when the assaults were happening, and were even seen leaving the station just prior to the assault starting. And there's no signs of things slowing down in Hong Kong, even if this bill goes away. A new wave of Hong Kongers are coming through, people born into this two-system way of life, and they're fighting for their democracy.